did you have to read the scripts of Lost over and over again to understand them?
You know what I did? I made a conscious choice because of the whole NDA and the secrecy surrounding that, because so many people, that was kind of the beginning of the spoiler world.
Damn straight.
And so I felt like because there was so much responsibility that I didn't want that. So what I would do is I'd say, don't send me the scripts. Everything was, well, it was watermarked with your name. So I would have...
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Every single page said Titus Welliver on the script, right? And it came in a packet, like it had fentanyl or something in it, and so
allegedly,
I didn't want that responsibility, so I would have them send one of the production assistants over to my hotel, bring me the packet, which had a Mylar seal and this and that, and you know, like one of those wax stamps from the Marquis de Sade on it, and I would break it open, and I'd say to the guy, you know, have a Coke in the lobby or something, give me 45 minutes, and I would learn the lines and then hand it back because I was terrified. I mean, all it took was, and because the show was so popular, everyone in Oahu and every hotel, they knew where we were staying and everything. I thought, I don't want to get caught up in that, so I just won't do it. So I sort of didn't fly by the seat of my pants. I knew what was going on.
Yes.
But I just didn't want to have the physical possession of that script. And I was telling someone recently, because it's come back on Netflix and has now had this sort of, you know, revisitation and finding a whole new fan base.
Yes.
That when Mark Pellegrino and I, we were already friends, if we were in a restaurant together or walking down the street, it was like being in the Beatles for 5 minutes. We would literally, people would come running up to us on the street. And neither one of us were accustomed to that at all. So thank God for P.F. Chang's and their happy hour, right? We just sort of sequester ourselves. And but it was a bit of a mind blower.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the first season of Lost was one of the greatest seasons of any television show I have ever seen.
100% agree.
It was perfect, letter perfect, and just how the flash forwards and flashbacks and trying to just the breadcrumbs that would be left and everything was as must-see television as I can recall.
Yeah.
So I totally believe that people are just you know, coming up to you and saying what they're saying, but it was just so difficult to follow. I'm just wondering what it's like to actually have acted in it, which is why I've, you know, led with that question.
Well, I mean, when I got the call from Elizabeth Sarnoff, who I'd done 2 other shows with her and David Milch, one was Big Apple, and she worked also on Deadwood, and she called me up and said, look, I've got, you know, do you know the show Lost? And I went, no, I live under a rock. I said, yes, I love the show.
That's right.
I'm a huge fan of the show. And she said, well, I'm one of the EPs and writers on the show, and I've got something for you on the show, but I can't really tell you what it is. And because I loved her and trusted her, I said, say no more, when and where. And then that kind of unfolded. But even in that first scene that I did where the man in black shows up on the beach with Jacob, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I really didn't have any sense of who my character was, where he came from, and it wasn't revealed until the season after that. And I remember being in the jungle with Nestor Carbonell, and he had this line where he says something like, the black smoke took my wife. And my character said, no. And he said, how do you know this? And I said, I am the black smoke. And there was this hush throughout the entire crew. And Nestor looked at me, and I kind of thought, what's everybody reacting? So he said, dude, do you realize what you just said? That's like saying, no, Luke, I am your father. And I went, oh, wow. And then it all connected. I'm the smoke monster.
Yeah.
I've been this computer-generated effect that's manifested over all these other seasons. And now here I am, and Locke and I are connected. And that's when it really, really hit me. And I'm very, very proud and so privileged to have participated in that show because it was so smart. And a great group of people. I mean, Allison Janney played my mom. You know, I mean, not a bad group. Although I never got to, aside from Nestor, I never got to interact with the other characters who were the series regulars.
Yeah. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.